Hello and welcome to today's root chakra yoga class. The root chakra is associated with helping us feel grounded to the earth, grounded to ourselves, a deeper connection with self. It's also associated with feelings of safety and security. And it is the connection between lower and upper body. So it's a very important chakra. It is the beginning of our evolution from our more human needs up towards spiritual enlightenment. So today we are going to be focusing on the legs in honor of that connection between lower and upper body, as well as some deep core and glute strengthening work. So I hope that you enjoyed the class. You don't really need any props, although it's always a good idea to have a couple of blocks and a yoga strap nearby. So get everything ready and I will see you on the mat. Okay, so we're going to start in child's pose. So you're slightly back on your mat and you've got your forehead touching down to the ground. Okay, take a deep breath in. Feel the air fill up the backs of the lungs and then exhale it out. Inhale. Feel a lifting sensation as you fill up the back of the body. Let it make you light, almost start to roll up. And then exhale, come down. Let's make this movement bigger. So inhale, rolling up through the spine. And exhale, arching forward, heart leads the way. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, arch forward. Couple more. Inhale. Articulating the spine. So it's a bit like a cat-cow movement here. Using our breath. Let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Come up all the way to sitting on your haunches. All right, so from here we're going to do some child's pose crunches. I'm going to face you for these. Now if you like, you can grab 2 blocks and place them beneath your hands. It will give you a little more height underneath your hips and make this feel easier. Otherwise, you can just place your fingertips into the ground about midway between your hips and your knees. You're going to squeeze the knees together and on an exhale, lift them up towards your chin. Inhale, lean forward slightly. And exhale, suck up the knees. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. So from the side, inhale down, exhale. So I'm pressing down on the tops of my feet. My toes are pointed. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So firing up the belly, the deep core muscles, pelvic floor, squeezing here. So think about your root chakra as kind of locking in energy as you fire it up and activate it. Inhale, 2 more, exhale. Inhale, last one. Good, okay. So we're gonna jump into a Malasana squat. So you've got your heels down and your feet are more or less hip width apart. And I'm pressing my elbows against my knees to lengthen my spine. So just feel this for a moment. If you want, you can rock side to side just to kind of wake up the hips if this is the first time you're moving today. And when you feel a little warmer, you can stop in the middle and just feel that nice deep Malasana squat. So we're going to jump into sort of a more advanced posture right away because we want to get the flow of energy moving in the class. And I find the best way to do this sometimes is just to jump straight into the deep end. So just do what you can. If you can't quite get fully into the next pose, which is crow, then you can always keep 1 foot on the floor. So I'm going to show you. So we're going to go through cycling from Malasana, what we're in, into crow and back and forth. So for crow, you want to rise up onto your tippy toes. I'm bringing my feet a little closer together and then I'm resting my upper arms against my shins. I bring the weight forward into my hands and then this is where you can play around. Lift 1 foot up and if that feels good, you lift the other foot up and that's crow. You're pushing the floor away from you and like you're doing those child's pose crunches, you're activating in the deep core, sucking up the navel. And then come back into Malasana. And again, let's go into crow. So either one foot or both feet lifted. And back into Malasana. And again, let's do 2 more of these. Suck it up. Good. Last one. Hold crow. And now come with your feet a bit closer together. Sink the body down through the knees. So I'm really rounding my spine. And then we're going to round up to standing. Good. So the next part is a Sissy Squat, which can be tricky for the balance. So you can always set up next to a wall. Have one hand next to a wall the whole time as you go down into your Sissy Squat. Okay, so you've got your feet, the closer together they are, the harder it is, the wider apart, the easier. So you just be your judge of where you're at today. With Sissy Squat, we rise up nice and high, like we're wearing a pair of high heels. Stay up high, lock in the core, zip up the pelvic floor and the navel. And then you're going to hinge backwards, bending the knees, keeping shoulders in a straight line with hips and knees. Come down as low as you can, very heavy on the quads. When you can't go anymore, fold and collapse into this forward fold Malasana and roll up. Straighten out the heels directly behind the toes. Let's do it again. So lifting up nice and tall, Sissy Squat. Squeeze the glutes. Hug all the muscles in towards the bones. Keep everything strong, hinging back. Use those quads. And when you can't do any more, fold forward, Malasana, deep rounded spine, and rolling up. Good, few more. So straightening out the heels behind the toes, lifting up nice and tall. Engage the quads, engage the glutes, hinging back, straight line between shoulders, hips, and knees. No arched back. When you can't go any lower, fold and roll up. Let's do one more just like that. So your calves, your quads, your glutes might already be burning, which is what we want. So just be in the sensations. Don't try and avoid them. Just honor them as low as you can. And rolling up. Good. Bringing your toes and heels together, feet touching. We're going to go into a tree pose. So this pose here is mountain pose. You can just take a moment to sit with your sensations and find stillness. Best to just face up to whatever you're feeling instead of trying to distract yourself, and then moving on. So into tree, grounding through the left foot, lifting the right foot up. You can hug the knee into the chest, squeezing so that I'm stretching into my left hip. And then I'm just going to flip this foot into lotus position. So we are bringing the sole of the foot up to the ceiling, trying to drop down the right knee, and then no banana spine. So we really want to zip up the lower abdominals, hug the navel into the spine. If you've got your balance, you can bring your hands together into prayer. And then I want you to feel that root down through the floor of the left foot. But just as a tree reaches up towards the sun through its branches, you've got this opposite direction, rooting down, growing up. And it all unites at the root. So taking a moment to honor that. And then you're just going to hinge forward. You're going to bend the knee and then just move this ankle over across the knee to a figure 4 shape. So bending down nice and low into a squat. I like to rest my elbows onto my knee. Push that knee down, bend down, make yourself really small. Flex the right foot nice and strong. Good. And then I like to grab onto my ankle and roll the skin down towards the earth. And that just kind of helps with balance. It just kind of helps calm everything down. From there, you're going to give this a try. Reach both hands over to the right side and twist the knees to the left. So it's a spine twist. Come down onto flat hands. It's like we're doing crow again. So you're going to make a little shelf. Use the elbows as a shelf for your knee and your hip. And then you're going to reach your ear and your temple towards the floor. If this feels good, you can try lift the feet up off the ground. If this feels good, extend into side scissors. And if you've got your balance, lift the head up and then jump down. So every day it's a new adventure. I never know how long I'm going to be able to hold that balance for. Today wasn't that long, but maybe the other side will be better. All right, so we're going to go through one of our Malasana squats, forward fold, and roll up into mountain pose. Good. Let's do the other side. So for tree, grounding down into the floor on the right side, lifting the left knee up, hugging it into the chest, stretching sensation through the right front hip. Good, and then just flip that foot up into lotus position and roll down the left knee. Good, trying to get two knees in one straight line, no banana spine, lengthening the lower back, zipping up the core, hands together in prayer if you can. And again, feel for that upwards, downward sensation, roots and tips of a tree. Stand nice and tall, feel the power in the root chakra, right at the base of the spine, where the perineum lies, where the coccyx lies. Good, and now we're going to go into a figure four shape. So hinging at the hips, bending the knee, cross that foot over more so the ankle is free, flex the foot. And then I'm just placing elbows onto my knee, squat down, press the right knee down towards the mat. Get your balance, make yourself small, and you're stretching out the glutes in this position. So just hold it there. Good. And then we're going to just reach for our ankle, roll the skin down. Good. Roll it down. And now we're going to go for our side angle, so taking the hands over to the left side, knees come to the right, coming down into that crow position. You're almost going to chaturanga the arms, making a little shelf with your elbows for your hip and your knee. Get your ear onto the mat. Then if you feel nice and light there, lift up the feet. Maybe you stop there. Maybe you extend the legs into side scissors, and if you've got that, lift up the head. See how long you can balance for. Good. This side is better. And jump down and just shake it out. So quite a powerful little sequence to start off the class with, but hopefully you're feeling ready and energized for what's next. All right, so let's come into down dog. And you can just walk it out. Again, this might be the first time you've moved your body today, so just take a moment to open up the hamstrings and the shoulders. Stop in the middle, reaching the heart forwards, weight into the heels, push the mat away from you. Find your left leg lifted up towards the sky, trying to square out the hips, zip up the core. Good, you're going to bring that knee through the hands and come into a low lunge. So you're dropping down onto the back knee. You can keep the toes tucked, lifting up the chest. Then in one movement, rising up, placing the heel down on the ground for warrior one, then swiveling into warrior two, and then we're going to go into skandasana. So we're reaching our weight forward, we've lifted up onto the heel of the right side. Either using your hands or not, switch over skandasana onto the other side. Hold it there. Warrior two, warrior one. Knee down for a low lunge. So we're just reversing what we did. Hands down, reach the right foot back into down dog splits. Hold it there and come back into downward dog. Let's do it from the right to the left this time. So right leg lifts up, square out the hips, zip up the core, down dog splits, push the floor away from you. Knee comes through the hands, step forward, knee down, lift up the chest, low lunge. Lifting up, grounding the back heel for warrior one. Open into warrior two. Sink down for skandasana. Reaching over to the other side, skandasana. Warrior two, warrior one, low lunge. Let's do it again. Down, left leg goes back this time, down dog splits. And let's just go straight through to the other side without downward dog. Reaching that knee through, low lunge, Standing up, grounding to the back heel, warrior one. Open, warrior two. Sink down, skandasana. You can use your hands if you need to. Over to the other side, skandasana. Warrior two. Warrior one. Low lunge. Chest up, hands down. Down dog splits, right leg back. Last round. Push the floor away from you. Bring the right knee forward. Low lunge, chest up. Grounding the back heel, warrior one. Warrior two. Skandasana. Switch over. Warrior two. Warrior one. Almost there. Low lunge. Hands down. And down dog splits. And then come into a downward dog. Pedal the feet. Some active rest. Good. Nice fiery sequence just to get the heart pumping and the blood flowing. So good morning to you. Hopefully you're feeling alive and awake. All right, let's ground down into our feet, lifting up the right leg. We're going to bring knee to nose. Back to splits. Change sides. Left side. Knee to nose. Back to splits. Change sides. Couple more rounds of these. Knee to nose. Splits. Back. Left leg up. Knee to nose. Splits. Let's do one more round. Right side. Knee to nose. Splits. And change left side. Splits. Knee to nose. Splits. And come back down dog. All right, make a little bit of space. So walk backwards on your mat. Lift up on the tippy toes. Look between your hands. You're going to cross your legs and slide yourself through to seated. All right, so from here we're going to do some core work to really fire up that root chakra. So you're going to come into boat. So leaning back on your sit bones, lifting up the legs. They can be bent, they can be straight. We're just going to hold our boat. Good, hold it there. Breathe. If you need to cycle, if you need to bend the knees for a little while, get your composure back and then join us again on straight legs. And that's what you do. Holding it there. Good, breathe. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. From here, we're going to do single leg lifts for boat. So we're going to lift one leg and we're going to bring it towards our face as much as we can. So if you're not quite there, you can use a strap. You can grab the strap and pull the strap towards your face. You can also just practice with a bent leg. You can pull the knee into the chest, keeping the spine nice and straight, and practice straightening this leg more and more and more until it's completely straight. And then you start to walk the hands up. Maybe you can grab hold of the feet. Maybe it's just the shin, wherever you're at. And then we're going to bend, keeping without rounding our spine. We want to keep our spine nice and long and see if we can get the foot closer to the face. You can also try flex the foot, grab the big toe and pull it flexed, a little bit more intense. Good, let's try the other side. So you can start with your knee, pull your knee in towards your chest, start to slowly straighten this leg as much as you can, or just use a strap. If and when your leg is straight, you start to walk your hands up. Maybe you get to your foot. And instead of just relaxing there, you start to pull the foot towards you by bending the elbows. Lengthen the spine, no rounding of the spine. Maybe you get the big toe and you pull it straight. You might have one side that is a bit tighter than the other. It's so normal. Just be wherever you're at. Feel the sensations, breathe into the tightness. Good. Let's give both legs a try. So this is both a stretching move for the hamstrings and it's a strengthening move for the core as we have to balance in this position. So you can start gripping around your knees. We don't want to round the spine. So nice long spine, just like you had for boat. Hold on to the knees, pull them nice and close. Start to straighten the legs. Get them as straight as you can, and then begin to walk the hands closer to the feet. Once you've got that, if that's all that you can get to, you hang out there. You can also use your strap. Maybe you flex your feet, use a peace sign and grab onto your big toes. All right, I like to push my toes against my fingers to lock in the balance, but this is a bit too easy. So now we have to try and bring the legs closer to the face, straightening the back. So it's very easy to just round and tuck it in, but we want to try and lengthen the spine, which makes it a bit harder. So balancing with a straight spine, really working the hamstrings, the deep core muscles, getting those legs as close to the face as we can. Straight, straight, straight back, tall spine, and release. Good. Okay, you've got your legs down on the mat, hip width apart. Your fingers are going to keep facing forward, but you're going to put them back behind you, quite close to the hips, so not too far back, quite close to the hips, almost touching your hips. We're going to go into a reverse tabletop, so push the hips up. We're stretching out the shoulders. So the more you lift up your hips, the more you push down your hands. Keep some connection between the knees. Don't let them splay open. They don't touch, but they're gently squeezing together. And now we're going to drop the hips, keep the feet flexed, and push the hips back and lift up. Push the hands into the floor for some core work. And again, reverse tabletop. Sink the hips down, push back, flex the feet. Good. Reverse tabletop. And sink the hips back, lift up. Good. And again, last round. And reverse. Good. And then just come place your hips down, and you're going to go down to the ground. I want your legs hip width apart. You can sort of tickle your heels with your fingers. That's how close they are to you. And from there, we're going into a glute bridge. So lifting up nice and tall. We don't want the knees opening wide. Hip width apart. So feel for a gentle squeeze of the inner thighs without the knees touching. Squeeze the glutes. Press the heels firmly into the ground, like you're trying to earth yourself. And from there, you're going to flex your feet. You're going to bring your feet together to touch, then flex them. Squeeze the knees. Feel how this engages the inner thighs. Keep the hips lifted. So without bringing your hips down to the floor, you're going to slowly start to walk your legs out to almost straight on your heels. Keep lifting those hips. When you've gone as far as you think you can, reverse. Walk yourself back into a normal glute bridge with the toes lifted off the mat, and keep going, walking forwards to straight legs, lift the hips, and reversing backwards. So you should have around 6 little steps or more to come out, so they're not too big, and 6 little steps to come in, so you're really controlling it. Good. Take a moment, drop the hips. You can just wiggle it out, rock it out. Flex the feet, squeeze the knees together, squeeze inner thighs, lift the hips, walk it out. This time get your legs completely straight if you haven't managed to. Point the toes, take the right ankle and cross it over the left ankle. Push down with the heels into the floor as you lift the hips up. Hands, palms press into the mat for support. And you're just going to rock side to side like you're making a rainbow with your pelvis. So you've got right ankle crossed over left ankle, hips are lifted, heels are lowered, and you are just making these rainbow shapes with your hips. Good. Stop in the middle. You can lower the hips, switch sides across left ankle on top, lifting up. Lift the hips up nice and high, and rainbows. Good. Good. Stop in the middle. One last time. Lift the hips up, lower down. Flex the feet nice and strong. Shake them out. Lift up the feet, shake it out, and let's start to wind down. All right, so you're going to make a butterfly shape with your legs. What I want you to see if you can do is, can you reach between your legs, between the butterfly shape, and grab onto your ankles? And then from there, we want to try and push the knees down. So can you see that I've got my arm threading through my leg and grabbing the outside of my foot? If this is not possible, just grab wherever you can, knees, shins, ankles. You want to try and push the knees open. So what's nice about this position is I can bring my toes close to my face, but I can use my elbows to open the knees apart. I also want you to feel for lengthening the lower back down on the mat. Good. And just gentle side to side rocking. Good. Really nice. Good. Okay, from there you're going to keep holding your feet where they are if you can, and you're going to go into a happy baby. So you've separated your feet. If your hands are on the outside, it's fine. If you're grabbing your big toe, however you like to do happy baby. You can also have a strap across your feet, and you can just pull down on either end of the strap. Otherwise, you're in a happy baby, lengthening lower back onto the mat. And I'm just going to tilt like we just did. And I'm trying to bend my knee to touch down to the floor. So right knee touches down, then left knee. Then right knee, then left knee. So I'm deepening that squat position in the air, stretching the lower back, deepening the sensation in the hip as I block off blood flow. And then stop in the middle and try and press both knees down to touch the floor. And they may or may not touch. Wherever you're at is where you're at, but trying to keep working those knees down. As you bring the knees down, you try and roll the lower back onto the mat, as opposed to letting the hips lift up, so rolling them down. Good, deep happy baby. And then just bringing the knees together, squeeze them for a moment. Let it all go. Wrap your arms, if you can, around your knees. Grab opposite elbows. You can also just grab wrists, fingers, wherever you can reach. Trying to get as tight a grip as you can. Inhale, exhale, gently kick the knees up into the forearms. Feel how that lengthens the lower back on the mat. I want you to let go of any gripping that you have in the front of your hips, so just try and relax them completely. Let gravity do the work. Let the arms and your muscles pull the hips tight. Good, and then you're just going to release the arms, keep the legs bent, and roll the knees to the right side for a twist. I like to just readjust so that I feel like my breastbone is directly above my hips, not lying sort of back behind it. And then you're just gently encouraging your spine to twist, so knees dropping down to the right, shoulders opening to the left. You might like to grab hold of your left hip and pull it over using the right hand. Whatever you want to do to help you deepen that twisting sensation. And then inhale, brings the knees back up. Exhale, other side. So again, I don't like my breastbone to be back behind my hips. I like to just readjust so that it's directly above, and that makes the twist feel more comfortable for me. Good. Taking a moment as we wind down to think about your root chakra and feeling the connection to it. Feeling the importance of being grounded so that you can lift your limbs up into the sky. As long as a part of your body is grounded, your hands, your feet, your core, you can take flight, so to speak. So using the strength in all parts of our body to liberate and free the rest of our body. Inhale, brings the knees back up. Hug in. Stretch out, nice and long and tall, and then come down to final resting pose, Shavasana, palms face up, flop the feet open. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in and out. Make sure you stay here for at least a minute or two to absorb all the benefits of the hard work that you've done. Thank you so much for practicing this root chakra yoga class with me. I've so enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next class. Namaste.